Bulabinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music
In the news tonight, 1987 coup sent Fiji back by 2 decades, says acting PM. Fijians told to reaffirm stand against discrimination. And judgment on FICAC appeal against Reddy's case next month.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
On this day, 31 years ago, current SEDELPA leader Sitiveni Rambuka ripped apart the social and political fabric of our nation, triggering the most disastrous political era in Fijian history, the first coup. Regarded as one of the darkest days in Fiji's history, the military takeover saw Rambuka overthrow the Labour government of the then Prime Minister, the late Timothy Bavandra. Akosita Tale has more.
On this day in 1987, Sitiveni Rambuka carried out the first military coup that shook our nation and has resulted in tens of thousands of people leaving our shores, many of our best and brightest.
There's footage of Indo-Fijians crawling under cars to escape being attacked. As violence across the country spread, racial violence, attacks, some organized, some random, some opportunistic. It was hell on earth, Madam Speaker. It was chaos. And anyone who lived through that time can tell you what happened, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, that coup wasn't some momentary impassioned action. It was actually, Madam Speaker, an intentional attack on preserving the position of the elites.
The acting Prime Minister says a racist political social structure was introduced following the coup, beginning nearly 2 decades of divisive policies, French provincialism, ethnic discrimination, corruption and lack of financial management.
Madam Speaker, you can tell Rambuka that his regret for these actions is not enough. His regret alone cannot fix the damage he caused to our nation. The 20 years that this nation was stalled in its development, the families that were broken apart as Fijians fled the country, and the blood that was shed all because of his selfish personal political ambition. His regret has not fixed Fiji.
Syed Kayum says the excuses used for carrying out the 1987 coup was one that made a mockery of God.
He claims in his books that he spoke to God. Madam Speaker, God does not tell you. God does not tell you, Madam Speaker, to oppress the weak. God does not tell you to bring about injustice.
Syed Kayum says the policies put in place after the coup in 1987 did not grow Fiji, but claims it sent the nation into the doldrums.
31 years ago, some time ago, we are still paying for his mistakes. Quite literally, as the collapse of the National Bank of Fiji has resulted in an intergenerational debt that Fiji is still paying for today.
The opposition leader hit back, saying they did not want to talk about the coup.
And when you are pointing a finger, Madam Speaker, 4 fingers are pointing back at you. So I'm not going to go into the coups, Madam Speaker, because history is not going to be kind to the Fiji First Government.
The 1987 coup led to innocent people taken hostage, beaten and threatened for their lives. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
In commemorating on the arrival of the first Giramateers to Fiji in 1879, acting Prime Minister Aya Syed Kayum is calling on Fijians to reaffirm their stand against bigotry, discrimination and divisiveness. Syed Kayum says the Giramateers went through a lot of discrimination by previous governments and their efforts in moving our country forward have gone unnoticed. Ali Kimbia with the story.
It has been 139 years since the first arrival of Giramateers and indentured laborers in our country, and since then they've made significant contributions to our country and economy.
So as we celebrate our progress and commemorate the proud legacy of the Giramateers in Fiji, Madam Speaker, let us reaffirm our stand against bigotry, against discrimination, against divisiveness. Let us reaffirm our stand against those old politicians and reaffirm our own commitment to each other as Fijians.
In highlighting the hard work done by Giramateers to move Fiji forward, Syed Kayum also urged politicians to abandon the colonial way of thinking.
Of course, Madam Speaker, this is because of the fact that many of these politicians still continue with that way of thinking, that our dynamics in politics is predicated on ethnicity. They, of course, need to rid their minds of the colonial way of thinking, Madam Speaker.
Indian indentured emigration to Fiji began in 1879, started by the first governor, Sir Arthur Gordon, to meet the shortage of labor due to the prohibition of commercial employment of the Itoke and by the increasing uncertainty and cost of the Polynesian labor trade.
It has helped a lot, and there has been a lot of progress in the country. They have done a lot to take the country where it is today.
I think they contributed a lot, and today we can see a lot of the results that the contributions from back then. Yeah.
Over 60,000 Indians were transported to Fiji between 1879 and 1916, when the transportation of indentured Indian laborers was finally stopped. The indentured system was abolished in 1921. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum today slammed claims made by National Federation Party leader Biman Prasad about the minimum wage rate. Prasad claimed the last minimum wage rate does not apply to the Wages Council, as some sectors are paying below the rate. Said Qayyum questioned Prasad's sources, adding they're always incorrect. He also confirmed the review of the minimum wage rate and the 10 sectorial Wages Council have already started.
Them get paid below the minimum wage. If he's referring to the trainees in the government sector, that's a different category altogether. But all of them, the 10 sectoral wages, they all in fact had a review, and all of them had increases. And in fact the salary rates are more than $2.68 an hour. In fact they range from $2.78 to $5.57 an hour. In the case of building foreman, market wage rate currently is $10 to $15 an hour. Qualified electricians, $8 to $10 an hour.
The Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption, in an appeal hearing today, stated the political rights of Waisea Lembombo, the manager of Ra High School, were compromised due to the actions of former Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy. FICAC is appealing the Suva Magistrates Court acquittal of Dr. Reddy on 1 count of bribery and 1 count of undue influence. Pranita Prakash reports.
FICAC lawyer Rashmi Aslam argued in High Court that during a Talanoa session in Raki, Lembombo highlighted the issue of inconsistent water supply with Dr. Reddy. In the original case, it was alleged Dr. Reddy interfered with Lembombo's political rights by saying the water supply issue would be looked at after the 2018 general election, and if Lembombo was with them, then he need not worry. It is alleged he also told Lembombo not to say to the media that the government is not doing anything. Aslam said the political rights of Lembombo were hindered since in his testimony, Lembombo had told the court the minister's statement caused him to change his political allegiance. The lawyer also argued the magistrate had not applied the constitutional guarantee of political rights in his decision to acquit Dr. Reddy. In response, Defence Counsel Devnesh Sharma said that the chief magistrate made no error and that while testifying, Lembombo had stated he didn't even recall what the minister said. Sharma also said that prior to the election, Lembombo was campaigning for Sodelpa. However, after the elections, he accepted the results and supported the current government. Sharma asked the court not to order a retrial and to consider the consequences of it on the accused. The High Court will deliver a judgment on June 22nd. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama today left for Japan to attend the 8th Pacific Island Leaders Meeting, commonly known as PALM. The meeting is held every 3 years and will culminate later this week with the 2-day summit starting on Friday. Leaders from 17 countries from the region, including Japan, take part in PALM, titled We Are Islanders, Partnership Towards Prosperous, Free and Open Pacific. The conference aims to enhance and strengthen joint cooperation. In the last PALM meeting in 2015, the Japanese government announced a $1.04 billion aid package to deal with the impact of global warming and natural disasters. Still to come, Fijian top 15 at risk of natural disaster, and rice farmers to receive special insurance security. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko lang ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara may naomani, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasabali, nagundurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
The Energy Fiji Limited allocation of shares was explained by the Public Enterprise Minister in Parliament today after questions were raised about the basis of the difference in share allocation. Ayah Said Qayyum says the difference is to economically empower Fijians who are at the lower end of the socio-economic scale. The government is offering EFL shares whereby non-subsidised account holders are offered 150 non-voting shares and subsidised account holders are offered 250 non-voting shares. Said Qayyum says EFL prepaid customers in rural areas are covered under government subsidised program, hence they will receive 250 shares.
The government currently subsidises electricity costs for those people or households that earn less than $30,000. So those households, in the shares that we've given out now, they will receive more shares than those people who actually earn more than $30,000. So we're trying to enrich and empower the people at the lower end of the socio-economic scale, and those who are obviously richer, we give them a lesser amount of shares.
Fiji has been identified amongst the 15 most exposed countries to natural hazards, and this can affect our agriculture sector, mainly food security. Agriculture Minister Niese Ruratu says to address this, the ministry is working with the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization on several projects. Catherine Krishna reports.
The Agriculture Ministry will be working with the UN Food and Agriculture Organization under an agreement to identify and manage disaster risk in the sector.
The Paris Agreement and the climate change agenda, we have launched what we call the Cornway Initiative. This is to address agriculture, particularly talking about climate smart and climate resilient agriculture, because food security is very, very important for all of us.
Seri Ratu says these projects will also strengthen climate resilience in communities directly involved in farming.
I hear identifying the risk, I hear managing the risk, but could the minister tell us specifically what are some of the food security initiatives, examples that we can look forward to as a result of this documentation or agreement?
First issue in food security, Madam Speaker, is to ensure that we feed our people. And that involves production. And that is where agriculture is so important.
Fiji is prone to changing climatic conditions, and the minister says they are looking at food security with urgency. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
A special insurance scheme will soon cover rice farmers for health, farm equipment and loss due to sudden adverse events. Fiji Rice Limited says this is in line with the effort to revive the rice industry and ensure farmers are well protected. Kelly Vadala reports.
These farmers will be covered under an official insurance scheme in a couple of days. The farmers will pay $1 a week for the scheme.
Just like sugarcane farmers, we are also providing that insurance cover to, this is the basic insurance cover to our rice farmers. This is in partnership with UNDP through Pacific Financial Inclusion Program and Fiji Care. So we are launching this on 19th May, and basically all our farmers will be covered under this insurance scheme.
Advisory Councillor Ashika Devi, while welcoming the initiative, said it will be beneficial for farmers in the long run.
That is something very new coming to my community, and I am very happy with that, because it will help to all of the farmers for that scheme. And I know most of the farmers are really happy with that scheme here.
The farmers will be paying about $50 or something from their pocket, and they will be a member of that. So I think if something like that is being done, it will be much benefit to the farmers.
Fiji Rice has 230 registered farmers currently. The company says demand for locally milled brown rice has increased, and the company has also secured contracts with the Fiji Sugar Corporation to supply rice. Kelly Bathala, FBC News.
Countries in the Asia-Pacific region today met in Nandi to discuss ways in which they can better manage borders. Felipe Naikaso reports the fast-paced changes and developments of technology top discussions.
Experts in the field of border management gathered today to look at ways to effectively control the borders.
So you got to understand that, that Fiji's strengths are also there. So let's not shy away from the fact Fiji is a developing country, our economy is robust, and our international trends the trends in Fiji are aligned to the international trends.
And with the exponential increase in global trade and the changing dynamics of the international supply chain, e-commerce has created new demands on the role of customs administrations.
So it requires a bit more of work, but the good news is that we are looking in that direction.
We have an understanding where we've resolved to work as part of sort of like a partnership approach.
The call was also made for customs administrations, businesses and key stakeholders to collaborate with each other to ensure regulations, policies and programs effectively respond to an ever-changing environment. Philippe Naikaso, FBC News.
In sports later with Jamie, Lautoka football to face tough challenge in the return leg of the Champions League final on Sunday. But first we join Rachel with business.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up. Devaluing Fiji dollar will have implications, says RBF governor. And in growing Fiji, Railway Street intersection closes for maintenance. Stay with us.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेकी से. मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट. आई लव मिर्ची एफएम.
हमें स्क्रीन टॉक हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे.
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट.
In business tonight, the Reserve Bank has stated it cannot devalue the Fijian dollar just for the benefits of certain sectors of the economy. Governor Arif Ali says a wide range of issues will be looked at before a decision to devalue the dollar is made. Speaking at the Fiji Bus Operators Annual Convention over the weekend, Ali said the devaluation will have a lot of implications on our export sector. With the current deficit of close to $2.8 million, he said they will need to make decisions after careful consideration.
So really, we just cannot just revalue our Fiji dollar just because it will help certain sectors of the economy. We have to take an approach that will be the best for the economy.
And we now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the trading market.
Thank you. Let's review the action on the South Pacific Stock Exchange last week. 6 listed stocks were traded, noting various share price movements. Amalgamated Telecom Holding shares increased by 15 cents to end the week at $2.60. Fiji TV shares had a growth of 8 cents to end at a price of $2.30. VB Holding shares rose by 7 cents to $6.23, and BSP convertible notes were up 4 cents, ending the week at $8.70. Given these price movements, the overall market capitalization increased by 3%, closing the week at $2.21 billion. And that's the wrap from our local stock market. Vinaka.
Thanks for the update, Sharon. Taking a look at today's currency exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. Our dollar was on the rise against most of the currencies we cover, gaining against the US dollar, the Kiwi, the PNG Kina and the Japanese yen. As for the commodities market, despite predictions of a further rise, the oil prices dropped slightly to $70.65 per barrel. Gold closed at $1,319 an ounce, and silver was up a cent at $16.68 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, the Fiji Roads Authority will be closing the Railway Street intersection in Suva tonight from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. tomorrow. This in order to carry out the final layer of surfacing under the Suva Arterial Upgrade Project, known as Sarup 1. The authorities also completed the final surfacing of Suva's Waimanu intersection over the weekend. And that's it from Business Tonight. Jamie joins you now with the latest in sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. In sports tonight, World Cup plans already in place for Fiji's Sevens team, and athletes rewarded for Commonwealth Games achievements. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टोटो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The Fiji Airways men's sevens team will set up camp in USA 2 weeks ahead of the World Cup in July. Coach Gareth Baber will use the opportunity to train his players at altitude in Utah before heading to the tournament in San Francisco. Vasnil Prasad reports.
With 2 months and 7 days away from the World Cup in USA, Coach Gareth Baber has already mapped out the plans.
We're going to go and do 2 weeks in Utah in the US, which we can train at altitude, and it's not too far from San Francisco as well. There's an Olympic setup there which we've organised and to use.
Baber says with the interest coming in from players like Nicola Matawalu, Semi Randrandra, Leone Nakarawa, Semi Kunatani and Joshua Tuisova, he is eager to name his top 16.
I'm going to have a look at them coming into training with us in the camps, have a look at what the dynamic is like.
Skipper Jerry Tuwai has welcomed the interest from overseas players, saying this will increase competition.
I think it will be good to lift the level of competition to the local boys, so they can see those big guys coming inside and they'll push themselves and take them to another level of rugby, another level of fitness that will help us as a team.
But for now, the players will move into camp tomorrow for their second week of preparation as London and Paris Sevens will be held next month. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Airways Fijiana Sevens side finished 8th at the Langford tournament in Canada. Despite beating England yesterday in pool play, the side lost to them 29-24 in the 7th place playoff this morning.
Riwai dancing around. Aviua, short ball, back on the left foot, under the post. Raigieri, Davi from Lydia Thompson off the bench. Fiji 2 players lined up outright. Ravisa keeps it all the way. Tima Ravisa. Oh, ball into space. And she's got it back. Daviua from 30 meters out. She's stepping all the way to the post. Big, powerful running. Of course, he didn't quit, and it's Toro Otto.
Meanwhile, New Zealand won the Langford Sevens tournament in record fashion, beating series leaders Australia 46-0 in the final. It's the most points New Zealand has ever scored against Australia and the largest winning margin against their Trans-Tasman rivals. The Black Ferns scored 8 tries in their romp and led 22-0 at the break.
Proud of the girls. We've put in a lot of effort and obviously been on the road for a long time, so really stoked with the result and happy to be heading back for some recovery. To Australia, they're an amazing team. We love playing them and it just shows how amazing women's rugby is at the moment.
The unbeaten Naita Siri rugby side believes it needs some fixing before it takes on Skipper Cup defending champions Nanranga this weekend. Despite a win over Nandi on Saturday, Coach Koli Sewambu says they need to stick to game plans and strategies if they are to pull off convincing wins. Meli Tavanga reports.
It will be a clash of the titans at Nosori as the 2 giants, Naita Siri and Nanronga, run onto the field Saturday.
Nandi's got a bigger pack and we want to play a wide stick, but boys didn't get the message and they kept taking the ball up to where the Nandi's big boys are, and they got turnover balls from there, which was frustrating. But like I said, we managed to get into the half in the second half and scored 2 extra points, which is great for us. And we'll take the win, but we still have to work a lot harder to achieve our goal for the season.
Naita Siri coach Koli Sewambu says the key is to stick to the game plan devised by the coaching panel, something they failed to do despite their weekend win against Nandi.
We didn't really utilize the ball the way we wanted to as part of our game plan, so that's something that we need to fix before we play Nandro next week.
The Young Highlanders pack is back in camp today, ensuring all their weaknesses will be fixed before Saturday.
learn a mistake from our this game and move on. We take Nandronga and Suba as a final, so that will boost the morale of the team.
Naita Siri hosts Nandronga at Nosoris Ratu Nakombo Park at 3 p.m. Saturday. Melitavanga, FBC Sports.
Former flying Fijian Issa Nadewa kicked his Irish club Leinster to victory in the European Cup final in Spain yesterday. Nadewa kicked 2 late penalties to secure a trialist 15-12 victory over a Racing side without Daniel Carter. The match was Nadewa's final in the top league, and he now retires after almost 200 matches for his club.
You know, I think I'll have plenty of time to think about this. You know, I wish I could be back to play, try and put a 5th star on the shirt.
The government has handed a total of $117,500 to athletes who won medals at the Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast, Australia last month. Gold medalist Eileen Vikamatana, bronze medalist Apollonia Vai and Winston Hill received their share of the reward from Sports Minister Laisinia Tuitumbo today. Wasil Prasad reports.
The incentive of winning the bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games came at the right time for weightlifter Apollonia Vai. The 75 kg lifter received $5,000 this morning.
It's a big help for me to help my family back in Taveuni, helping them with, because I'm trying to build my house, so that money will hopefully finish it off.
Boxer and bronze medalist Winston Hill thanked the government for the support.
I'm very grateful for this, very unexpected and you know, just a blessing altogether.
Eileen Vikamatana received $10,000. The money was received by her mother as the gold medalist is back in New Caledonia for training. Minister Laisinia Tuitumbo says they will continue to reward athletes for winning medals on the world stage.
The incentives are drawn from the ministry budget or the Ministry of Youth and Sports budget, where we always commit them before any competition that's coming up. We always get that incentive.
Fiji 7 side were the first recipients of the incentive last week. This is the second time the athletes have been rewarded, and the 7th players had received $30,000 each for bringing the first ever Olympic gold medal for the country. Vaishnail Prasad, FBC Sports.
The odds have been stacked against Lautoka football for its return leg of the OFC Champions League final against Team Wellington this Sunday. After being thumped 6-0 in the first leg yesterday, the side needs to score 7 clear goals to claim a historic win. In today's Play of the Day, the goal that gave newly crowned champions Manchester City its 100th Premier League goal of the season, becoming the first club to do so. That's it from Sports Tonight. Join Angie later on with weather, and in new media, a look at what Google Lens is all about. That's after the break.
Bula, kera mai singa toka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon football ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali tagi yang gitu penesabale, menguntur rongo, varorong na Radio Fiji 1.
Media tonight, the augmented reality camera updates include on-the-fly translations, better image recognition, and a way to recognize what you're shopping for. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Hope your weekend went well and you're all fit for another week. Shedding some light on our weather today, it was a mix between sun and showers throughout the country. Taking a look in the west for today, it was cloudy with light showers but later cleared off to sunny spells. Eastwards from Pekapa to Suva, a cool one with mostly showers, more showers expected for later tonight. And up north, much of the same conditions, light rain expected for tonight as well. At sea, southeast winds gusting to 25 knots with rough seas. For the tides, low tide at 12:26 a.m. with high tide at 6:36 a.m. Sunrise at 6:24. For tomorrow, another day of sun and showers, so be prepared for what I call surprise showers. Tomorrow's temps, all centers will be at 29 degrees. And looking further on to Wednesday, more showers rolling our way. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we ask, if the 1987 Rambuka coup did not happen, would Fiji be a different place?
I think if they hadn't come to Fiji at that time, we won't be able to be where we are today.
I think Fiji would have been in a better place if there was no coup in 1987.
Fiji would have succeeded over the years, but due to the coup, we were left behind.
Mr. Rambuka did the 87 coup, and due to that, a lot of brain drain occurred as people migrated to other countries, and since this government has come in, the country has started to pick up on developments.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, scientists at a university in New York discovered that the brains of songbirds use a similar process as humans do when learning to make sounds. And as a result, the research could lead to treatment for people with speech impediments. Recapping the main stories for tonight, 1987 coup sent Fiji back by 2 decades, says acting PM. Fijians told to reaffirm stand against discrimination, and judgment on FICAC appeal against Reddy's case next month. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment, last week we had asked, should heavy vehicles be banned from being on the road during peak hours? 67% said yes. This week we're asking, if the 1987 Rambuka coup did not happen, would Fiji be a different place? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day, sunset view was captured by Koresi Langi Langi from Dreketi Nalawa in Ra. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
On the radio Fiji 1 and the Moi Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola ang totalita na radio Fiji 1 kina Moi Viti.
Kaya ko sila tale. Nagurara may na omani. Nando nga. Gitu tale tagili ang gitu Venezuela po nagundo rongo. Barrongo na radio Fiji 1 nando Moi Viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nando Moi Viti na bonga ni BNN.